So welcome back to Yana and Mommy Do Stuff.
Hey, so we haven't made a cooking video in a while, but I have a new obsession, so I wanted to share it with you guys. We have been making homemade tortillas.
They are so good.
They are way, way better than the store-bought stuff. And I was having a discussion with a couple people a while ago, and we were talking about how everybody thinks like, oh gosh, everything is so hard to make, so everybody buys all this nasty processed food. I've gotten into better habits just because I have a health condition that causes me to eat better, but at the same time it teaches me to cook new things and it's actually a lot of fun. So today we're gonna do the tortillas. I've already laid everything out just to let you know what everything is, because I like to kind of save time so you guys aren't bored and like, oh god, like seriously, is she gonna keep pouring stuff? So I don't like to do that. So what we've got here is 3 cups of flour. In here is 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a teaspoon of salt. And I've got a little less than a cup of water and 5 tablespoons of butter. So sorry, I didn't put out my recipe thing, which I really don't need. Actually, I don't even need it. So,
and you'll need a food processor.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And you'll need a food processor. The food processor makes this crazy easy. So, all we're gonna do, did I already plug it in? Yep. Okay, so.
This is my first time making it though, so I've never actually made it.
Okay, so come around and very carefully, here, let's do this so we don't accidentally spill it. So just kind of scoop it out a little bit until it's like, go ahead, don't be afraid. There you go. Let's get all that flour in there. So we'll get all the flour in there.
Not all of it. You can drop a little bit.
Yeah, I always put a little extra anyways. Okay, and then we're gonna dump in the baking soda and salt mixture.
Do we need to mix it?
No, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix it in the food processor. So, don't be afraid when you do this, you're gonna get puffs of flour, which is why I actually wore my apron today. Ayana gets so upset with me because I never wear my apron, but I feel like it gets in my way because I cook so much and then I'm like, oh, I probably should use that, but then, yeah, I'm weird, so I don't always do what I'm supposed to.
We're both weird, just to tell you.
So, what we're gonna do is just pulse it. And pulsing it is just going to mix up the baking soda, salt, and flour. So just this button here. Yeah, just a little longer. Okay, good. All right. So all we did was really, we just kind of mixed up the flour and the baking soda and salt. Now we're just... Yeah, we'll show that part. We're just gonna dump the butter in, and I'm gonna do it because it's kind of like all melty. All right, now this, I'm gonna start out on low, and before you start it so it's not too loud. I'm gonna start it out on low, but I will turn it up to high when it starts to kind of get crumbly on the inside. So you just wanna make sure that the flour and the butter mix together, and they kind of make like this crumbly look. When you get to that, then we'll do the next step. So start it on low. Oh! Yeah, too late. We'll clean that up. Alright, so let's go going. So we'll pulse it a couple times. Just to kind of get that butter mixing a little bit. On the diet. So as you can see, the texture's changing, right? You see that?
Yeah, but it's coming out everywhere.
That's okay. It'll still do what it's supposed to. So I'm going to just mix this a little better. I'm just going to stick this knife in here just to kind of move this around.
Why not use a spoon?
I don't know, because I don't want to dirty up more dishes. Do you want to clean them?
Spoon. Here.
Oh, I forgot I used one. All right. Well, that's okay. So, I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. All right. So, I'm going to just pulse this. Oh, it's okay, honey. We'll get it when we're done. because it's just gonna be more flour. All right, so I'm gonna do this one more time. And that looks pretty good to me. Now, I'm gonna add the water until it starts to actually form a dough. When it starts rocking and it gets all into one big ball, that's how we know it's done.
And
So,
I like the big ball. I get whichever not used.
okay, so I'm gonna turn this on low, and I'm just gonna add the water. Looks like we're going to need a little more water.
Got it.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, there's like flour everywhere. Oh, Mommy's got it. Alright, so we're going to go a little bit more. Now you want to be careful at this part because you can always add too much water. So be very careful.
Just add a little bit at a time.
See, now it sounds like my food processor's mad at me. I know that it's doing what it's supposed to. Now you can see, maybe, you guys might be able to see, that it's kind of all coming together. I'm just going to add a touch of water, just to get those little pieces at the bottom, because I'm lazy.
That little bit cutting.
All right, so I generally just use my counter. I've got granite countertops, so I generally just use my counter a lot of times just to dump things out.
And you'll need a rolling pin or
Well,
a tortilla press.
Well, you'll still, yeah. All right, so for now though, I'm just gonna take this dough just to bring it together a little bit, and all this flour that kind of landed on my counter, I'm just gonna roll into that. And just so you know, like I'm a neat freak, so my counter's been cleaned like 10,000 times, so as random as this looks, I promise you my counter's clean.
Can I dump this out?
Yes, and actually, we are going to clean up this little mess real quick. So we will be back in just a moment. Can you? And we are back. Okay, so I've kind of just let my dough set while I cleaned up. My OCD kicked in and the flour really was bothering me, so I'm not even gonna lie, I had to clean it up. So I have my little scale here. You generally wanna make these about 2 ounces each. So I'm just gonna use my scale to weigh out these 2-ounce balls, and Ayana is gonna roll them for me. Now it doesn't have to be exact. If you don't have this handy dandy scale, you can always just eyeball it. So Ayana's gonna roll one just so you can kind of see what size it is. And so tonight is burrito night, which is why we're kind of going through all this. So I'm gonna have to let these set for about 10 minutes before I can even roll them out. So when you set them for 10 minutes, you can put plastic wrap over them. You can set that on the plate, honey.
This is what it looks like.
So yeah, so we got a ball about this size. So we're gonna put plastic wrap over it, and then we're gonna put a towel over it and let it sit for about 10 minutes. While I'm doing that, I'll actually make my lime rice for my burritos. I've already cut up my onions and my tomatoes and all that fun good stuff. So it's burrito night. So we're gonna make these awesome. So we'll see you soon. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes. Off to the side here, I've got my dough that I've made out to be about 2-ounce balls.
Yeah, and a helpful tip is if you do not have a scale and you're just trying to approximate it, whatever it's called, okay, yeah. You should have about 12 balls.
Okay, so yeah, what she's trying to say is if you don't have a scale, you should end up with 12 rounds, okay? So that's a pretty good amount. So for us, it'll be plenty. So I'm just gonna show you. I keep them covered because they dry out really easily. So I just sneak one out at a time. I've got my pan over here on medium, and I've just thrown a little flour on my countertop here, and I put a little flour on my rolling pin. And okay, I am not good at making these round, which is why I am gonna buy myself a tortilla press, because I do like these that much that I am making these a lot more. So I really don't mind that they're not perfect. I actually kind of like them that way. But what I generally will do is I roll them out, and as I roll them out, I just try and get them as round as I can. And it's not gonna be perfect, and I'm okay with that. My family doesn't mind it, so I'm totally cool. So I'm just gonna roll this until it's pretty thin. They're supposed to be about 8 inches. I just roll them until they're about the thinness that I like. So as you can see, it's pretty thin.
You can toss it and make a pizza.
Yeah, if I was good enough, I would toss it, but I'd probably end up like throwing it on the floor. So I'm just gonna run this over to the pan real quick.
And you'll also need a fork for this process.
Mommy doesn't need a fork. Do you want to grab the camera so they can see what's going on in the pan? So welcome to the tour of our kitchen as she grabs the camera. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the camera off of here, and I'm gonna show you what's going on in the pan. So what you wanna see, if you look real close, it's kind of bubbling. As it bubbles, you know that it's getting brown on the other side. So I just let it kind of brown up here.
While you hold it, I can flip it.
I don't want you to put your hand in the pan.
No, I use the fork like I usually do.
Yeah, Mommy's not gonna. Yeah, no, we're good. Maybe when we do our own. So what we use the tortillas for tonight, obviously we're doing burritos. But these tortillas are so good. I would use them for breakfast burritos. I would use them just to eat late at night. I know this is bad, but I just put butter on them and eat them late at night. I know that's really bad, but it's what I do because they taste really good. These go really fast in my house, really, really fast. So a dozen might, if we're lucky, last a couple days, depending on what we're having for dinner that night. So this is taking a little bit longer than it normally does because this is the first tortilla. Once you get the first tortilla done, this pan is almost like the exact heat you need it to be. And it'll brown up real nice. So that's not quite done because it's not as brown as I would like. So I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll show you the finished product and we will be back soon. Okay, so as you can see, it's nice and toasty, and it looks just like the store-bought ones to me, except for, well, obviously it's not as round. So I usually just take them out, I'll throw them on a plate, and I'll cover them with a towel to keep them soft. And that is pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of our tortillas, and we will see you next time. Bye!